Hi there. This is a video I'm putting together all about the AP Language and Composition exam. Maybe it's that time of year. Maybe you've just uh, trying to figure out for yourself. Shit, if I'm in an AP class, what's that AP mean? Should I take the AP test? And that is certainly an individualized question. And I can't answer that for you, but I can answer a lot of other questions to help you answer that question. There's so many factors I think you'll see as I go through these questions that really it depends on you. It depends on your individual situation. It depends on your future goals, your plans, your current strengths and weaknesses. This is as many of the frequently asked questions as I could roll into one video. It may get kind of long, but you can use the titles and stuff to kind of guide you through. You don't have to watch this in one sitting or something, but kind of an outline of how I want to go through these things. Some of you are familiar with the AP program. You've done it maybe your sophomore or even your freshman year, but maybe you took AP Euro and it was an intro to AP. Maybe you have older siblings, so your family is very familiar with the AP process. Um, but in all AP classes, there is an AP test that is offered at the end of the school year. Usually the first couple weeks in May. This year, in 2021, it's I think May 12th, but it varies a little bit from year to year for the English language and composition test. And you go to the library or the auxiliary gym or something like that for the first or the second half of your day. And the counseling team is there to proctor a pretty long, high stakes test for you. And just to dial it in a little more, the actual language and composition AP exam, which is Junior English AP, what's that look like? It's about 3 hours. You're burning through writing some three essays, and there's also a multiple choice section with close reading and rhetorical analysis type questions. It's about 50 minutes. And then you've got, this big block of time left to write three essays. So you want to budget about 40 minutes per essay. There's a rhetorical analysis essay, a synthesis essay, and an argumentative essay, which are things that we'll talk about in our normal classroom. We talk about those things. We talk about those modes of essay writing throughout the year. Um, we'll talk through some of the general principles and the general skills that help you with the AP test for language and comp. That's all woven into our curriculum. But like the nuts and bolts stuff, so you're not reading through the instructions and sweating it during those 3 hours when it's actually, game day. Those types of things I do a lot more. Like individualized and small group prep before and after school, really starting after spring break. So there's a lot of prep options. In fact, if you have registered for that AP test or you plan on registering for that AP test, highly encourage that. I set up a Google Classroom in the past. I probably will continue to do that, or some other online platform where I can push resources out to anybody who's taken the AP language and composition test. I've also got some test prep booklets. Is the most current edition that I have, Barron's AP Test Prep book that a student can check out from me for second semester. All that sort of nuts and bolts and format and all that stuff. I wouldn't worry about it too much first semester. I'd start to have it on my radar second semester and then do some very serious practice testing and some other types of test prep after spring break to get ready for May. But just so it's a culmination of a lot of work, our normal classwork and also specific exam type prep work. And it culminates in this big 3 hour session. It's a lot of fun, and you get to and dazzle the AP graders with your intellect as you know cramp up your hand writing furiously in the auxiliary gym or something. But that's what the actual test is like, and I know I'm portraying that vividly. Even students who are very, lack a lot of confidence, and that seems so hard, and I could never do that. We can get you ready for that. You can work hard, and you can build some confidence in that area. Um, we have kids every year who are very successful. Um, if you've already known, and which maybe I hope this video causes you to question, but if you already know, definitely 100% taking that AP test. How do I register? The yellow up there is really important. I just took most of this from an email I got from our AP contact guy. He's the counselor, Rick Rogers, Mr. Rick Rogers. He's the first half of the alphabet, or A through E. So many of you may have him as your academic counselor. But he's in charge of the AP program in terms of ordering our tests. He'll create a link on total registration, which will be pushed out to you. Watch for emails, watch for updates, ask me. Um, but it can be found on the counseling webpage eventually, here at northwest.smst.org. But you've got to do a couple steps. It's really two steps. You've got to log in and create an account on the College Board website. Don't create an account if you've already done this, please. And we might be doing this in class. So, students, you may already have an account if you did that with me. So, you've got a College Board account, and then you're going to actually select your preference and say, yes, I do want to take the AP test, or I plan on taking that in May. And then you go to a separate web platform, total registration, which is what I started explaining. You can find it through the Shawnee Mission Northwest counseling page, and there will be other links pushed out. And that's where you'll actually register and pay. You'll pay for the exam there. So it's $100 per exam, and again, your contact person, kind of for the nuts and bolts and all that, is Mr. Rogers. And again, October 30th. We got to figure this out by October 30th, which is a short runway, really. Back in the day when we used to register for AP exams in the spring, I felt like I had a much better idea of a student's strengths and weaknesses, with these types of essays and all that stuff. So the earlier registration deadline's helpful for the College Board. It's helpful for the counseling department. It's helpful for you too, perhaps, to commit to this and start getting ready for that AP exam. But it will sneak up on us, and it's unhelpful in that way. We've got to decide. Not tomorrow. You've got this season of discernment. It's just quicks. October 30th will be here before you know it. So you got to start thinking about these decisions. Am I going to take the AP exam? And really, that is our big question. Okay. All the other frequently asked questions, I'm hoping that you interrogate your own decision on this. Like, if you're like, no way, I definitely never want to take the AP exam. That sounds hard. I hope that you rethink it. And if you're like, slam dunk, no problem, of course, I'm going to kick my feet up, and I'm going to take the AP exam for sure. I also encourage you to rethink that. This is a key question for each family, for each student. Should you take the AP exam this year? And this is the only question, like I said, I cannot answer that in this video for you. You have to answer it. But this is kind of the lens through which I'm asking all these other questions. And this is, our season of discernment before October 30th. Let's figure this out together. So again, you can kind of skip around on this, but for those who are unfamiliar with AP in particular, this is a possible college credit course. It's possible, it's not guaranteed. You've got to earn a 3 or higher on your AP exam. So you sit for this, stressful 3-hour test, you make it happen, and then you've got to wait a little over a month usually, and your scores will be made available, and you'll see you get a 0 through 5 score on every AP exam. And I can answer some more nuts and bolts of how those scores are calculated for Lang and Comp. It's complicated, but you distill these 3 essays in these multiple choice sections all into this aggregate score, 0 through 5. And bottom line is, if you get less than a 3, you're not going to get college credit for your efforts. But 3 or above, many places, you'll get college credit. If you score a 5, it's most places you can earn college credit. And 3 is a great score. That's a success. That's a win. If you get a 3, you're going to get college credit at most regional universities, state schools, and places in the Midwest. So that's a win. There are exceptions. There are always exceptions. You could get free college credit, or sometimes you get to like skip the intro class and you get a higher placement. It's all up to your individual college and the college advisor, or the college admissions department, maybe. But pretty much, many places you can get college credit if you score a 3 or higher. But like that bullet point says, exceptions abound. Whoops, I'm going too fast here. This is an important thing, this bottom half of the slide here. How do I find my prospective school's equivalency policy? So you need to be thinking about, maybe you've got your top 3 colleges. If not, you don't have to decide on like, here's my short list of colleges before deciding whether to take the AP test, but it might be part of your calculation. Um, sh- like, do I want to keep this option open? Right. So if you probably are going to KU or K State and you just are sold on that, or you're going to go to Pitt State or Emporia because that's where your mom went, and like you're just totally set on that, your job is pretty easy. You just have one school. You figure out their equivalency policy, their AP policy. What do you need to do to get college credit at that school through an AP test? And will this class AP language and composition, if you score well enough, will it count towards a class at that college or university? If you have an aspirational school, especially if it's on one of the coasts or something like that, and maybe you've got a handful of schools you just kind of have up in the air, and you're weighing different options, then explore them. And maybe it makes sense for you to take the AP test. Maybe it makes sense for you not to take the AP test based on the pool of potential colleges that you're going to. But it's a lot cooler than it used to be. There's actually a website, the AP. You can Google search AP credit policy search. That's what the College Board calls it. So that first bullet point on the second half of this slide is important. It'll give you something that looks like this. You click on the College Board website. It should be your first hit. It's called the AP credit policy search. And you want to make sure it'll ask you probably first, what AP test are you talking about? And then I'll give you your first filter. Make sure you type in AP English language and composition. Hey, for the record, it's bolded and underlined right here because the senior AP English class is English literature and composition. And when you're registering on total registration for the test, when you're looking at the College Board for information, or in this case, you're looking at your college's credit policy, like, I think I might go to K State. If I am going to have an AP test and score, say, a 3, can I get college credit at K State? Um, you want to make sure that you're looking at language and composition, not literature and composition. So that's what your first filter is here, and it'll give you hundreds of colleges, and any accredited college in the country. If you go to this website, the AP credit policy search, it will tell you if they accept AP language and comp. This is just a screenshot here, but you can filter things by state or by the name of the college. You can search around, and so then you can click on an individual school. This is Kansas State University, and I would scroll down. Again, this is a screenshot, but I would scroll down to see what their policy is for AP language and composition courses. So, and I'd find out I would get 3 credits, and the equivalent class, it's composition 1 or something like that, if I score a 3 or better at Kansas State University. And so then if I wanted to check a different one, I'd go back to this page and I could look. This is, if I scrolled down, you'd see tons of different colleges here, and you can put on different filters. And it's genuinely helpful. It used to be, before 3 or 4 years ago, when the College Board put this together, you'd have to like call up different colleges and kind of do word of mouth. And hey, yeah, I know that this school will accept this and not that. Just to kind of give you some examples, you just looked at K State, but like uh, different colleges have different standards and different equivalencies for AP. For instance, if you score a 3 on the Lang and Comp test, you're good at K State. But if you were wanting to go to Mizzou and you scored a 3, you're going to be out of luck. They'll be like, "Oh, good. I'm glad you took that AP test and challenged yourself, but we require a 4." Mizzou does. They require a 4 on the AP exam. It's a little higher than most schools in this region. And so, I don't know what your problem is if you want to become a Missouri Tiger anyway, but that's okay. I've had students go there. It's a great school, but they have a higher standard. That's kind of an exception to this region in terms of the equivalency. So that's why it's important to double check. And of course, Ivy League schools will only accept a 5 or nothing. They assume that you're taking those AP tests and that you're scoring so well, but and they will not condescend to give you any credit for them. But most places, AP is widely recognized. Most places will give you college credit or let you skip an intro class or something. So anyway, go to that credit policy search. It's very helpful. So maybe you will get college credit. Sorry, going the wrong direction here. Uh, so, huge set of questions are under the umbrella of College Now. If you're unfamiliar with College Now, Johnson County Community College, JCCCCCCCC, has a partnership with many area high schools called College Now, where you can enroll in a Johnson County Community College class and take it concurrently with, through a high school teacher in a high school classroom. So you're getting college credit for the work that you do in a high school classroom. That is not available junior year to honors students or AP students. Uh, hasn't been for almost a decade now. But there's a caveat. They took what used to be junior year of college now and just pushed it into the senior year. So in senior AP English, if you stay with the AP program, if you want to do AP English literature and composition next year as a senior, you actually can get two college now course credits. So semester one, you can enroll in College Now for Comp 1 at Johnson County Community College. Semester two, you can enroll in Comp 2. Now, it's just a quick caveat like that fourth bullet point there. College Now is not just, automatic, okay? You don't just pay, it's like $280 a semester. It's a little more expensive than an AP test, but still a great deal. And it's there's you got to enroll in Johnson County Community College. There's some paperwork. Your teacher should work with you and explain a lot of this. Dr. Boren, you see her contact information there on the slide. Dr. Boren is awesome. She has a lot of experience with College Now, but just can also answer tons of questions about College Now. And you have to work through the College Now enrollment process, pay your money, and then for first semester with her, you do the assignments. You get a good grade, a good enough grade, it will count, and you'll have an extra course, Comp 1, on your Johnson County Community College transcript, which is great. You have to score at least an 18 on the English ACT, the English section, or you have to score, it's a particular benchmark on an AccuPlacer exam, which some students, if you don't have a high enough ACT score or you don't take the ACT for some reason, you can go up to JUCO and in the summer before your senior year and test in kind of to be allowed to enroll in College Now for English literature your senior year. So I hope that makes sense. Strictly speaking, no, you can't do College Now for junior year English, which is a bummer. And you can do it in APUSH and a lot of other Northwest classes. I'd encourage you, beg, borrow, and steal any college credit you can get while you're at Shawnee Mission Northwest. But in this class, junior year AP, language and composition with me, the AP exam is your only path to college credit, and of course, you got to earn it with a good enough score. So. That's College Now. What are the costs? I'm talking about the AP exam now. Or back in AP exam land, you know that it's $100 per exam. There's late registration fees after October 30th, but you really need to do it before October 30th. Mr. Rogers may or may not even take a late registration. So you really need to hit that deadline of the 30th, $100 per exam. This can add up. Sometimes you have, $100 is not nothing. But if you're taking like three or four, sometimes we have students taking multiple AP exams. All of a sudden, $300 or $400. That is a significant, obviously more significant financial burden. So there are always ways we can work out. Ask your counselor, ask your teacher if the cost of even a single AP exam is insurmountable for you. The AP program and just any program to get college credit during your high school years, it's really important. Like to pay a little bit now in high school if we can help you, so you don't have to pay so much at an actual university. So, bullet points 3 and 4 on this slide kind of go together. Um, it is worth it to fight and we'll scholarship a student somehow. We'll figure out some funding way if there's truly a financial need within the family. Talk to your counselor, talk to your teacher. We never want a student to not take an AP exam, especially a well-qualified, ready-to-go student, just because he or she can't pay the $100 registration fee. So, like I indicated, this is you could potentially, no guarantees, but you could potentially earn 3 credit hours of college credit for $100. You're never going to get that anywhere else. It's 900 some if you're to take just the tuition at KU for Comp 1 for 3 credit hours. it's almost $1,000. So this is $100. You get the same sort of credit, assuming you score well enough. There's certainly a great option. And my philosophy personally is always to encourage students while you're at Northwest, take advantage of any college credit you can. And AP tests at $100 a pop are, if you're good at them, if you're scoring well enough, they're the cheapest way to get college credit at Northwest. So you can do IB, Path to College credit. In some ways, you can do College Now, Path to Credit. In some ways, AP is certainly the best bang for your buck. Again, if you're scoring high on the test. So now catches. You probably have surmised many of these, but you might have a bad test day. I've had students who are great test takers, totally prepped for the test, and something crazy happens. Sometimes they still score better than they thought, and they'll still get credit. Uh, but the second bullet point always bears out in sad ways each year for a small handful of students. I have to be, I'm honest here. I do not have 100% of all my students always taking the AP test and always getting the score that they want. The majority do, which is good. It's not like this is just a total loss for so many. The majority of students get the score they want. They get a 3 or higher, and they get college credit. But there's a sizable minority each time who, for one reason or another, maybe it's a bad test day, maybe they were just unprepared in a variety of ways. Maybe they didn't study. Maybe they are freezing up on an essay or just misread a prompt or something like that. It's possible that you could not come away with credit, which is too bad. Um, but a reality that I have to just be forthcoming about. So another thing that happens every so often, but usually with the ways that you can look at the course equivalencies I showed you earlier, it's possible that your college plans change and the place that you go to does not offer. Maybe you decide to go to Mizzou at the last minute and you only had a 3, for instance. So there are catches like that. There might be a different AP policy at a college that you go to. That won't accept your score or uh, something like that. But that's pretty rare. I feel like you can do your homework ahead of time and at least go in with eyes open. So the benefits outweigh the catches. You can see for sure. Even if this is very teacherly of me. I understand you're not going to hear this if you're in this situation, but even if you got a 2 because something crazy happened and you had a colossal brain fart, you benefit from a high stakes testing experience. Okay, um, whether you're taking high stakes testing, as much as it is not an indicator of your intelligence or your academic prowess at all. High stakes tests are a fact of our life. If some of you want to become a lawyer, you're going to take an LSAT someday. You're going to sit for MCATs if you're going to med school, or there's all sorts of high stakes tests like this, and even just your finals in college. A lot of college professors, let's get that clock ticking. Let's do a hard test. And we've got the ACT, of course. We just live in, unfortunately, I think, a world of high stakes tests, and this is a really good one to show you that you survive. Right? Your brain's maybe melting, but you can do this, and it's not the end of the world. It's good for everybody who takes the AP exam. And we've talked about the college credit for the cheapest price. If you are taking this test, most colleges will either allow you to skip or give you 3 hours of college credit or something, in that ballpark for a intro to composition course, or Comp 1 or something like that. So, often those courses are just, herds of freshmen college students have to go to those, and many times they're in the proverbial lecture halls that are weed out classes. Sometimes they're not at all. They're good classes in many cases, but you get to avoid those. You get to free up your schedule with something else, either to get you one step closer to graduation, or maybe you want to experiment and try something in a different field as you kind of feel out your major. You have that opening, of 3 hours in your freshman college schedule. You don't have to take Comp 1. So it's really a huge deal. And AP is just widely known. It's known internationally. Every college in the country, every accredited school is at least going to like, oh yeah, AP. Oh wow, they did great on an AP test. Like they all, regardless of their policy on giving you credit in exchange for a good AP score, they all know of it. And most places, vast majority of colleges, you score well enough, absolutely, they will give you some college credit for that. And then lastly, this is important to not leave out. If you take the AP exam, you don't have to take the regular semester class final exam, the final that will happen maybe now at the end of the semester. So you have that option now. If you care to take both, figure you got a giant high stakes test at the end of the year anyway. You don't have to take the final. If you still want to take the final, you can. Some students are always wanting to raise their grade just a little bit and think they can do it through the final. So you can still do it if you'd like. But if you'd like to sit it out, you have that option if you if you took the AP exam. So should I take the test? Yes, there are lots of benefits, there are lots of costs. Should you actually take the test? I still I am cautious about saying blanket statement. Of course, everyone should do it, even though clearly there are so many benefits. This is a personal decision, and you've got to decide. Like, do I have real potential based on where I want to go to school, based on my own test taking comfort level, based on my academic aptitude? Like, some of you can excel and be very participatory in English and that sort of thing, but you are struggling with writing an on-demand essay, and there are three of them on the AP exam. So, of course, I will help you answer those questions, and I will be a coach for you, and I will help with those study sessions and that sort of stuff. But if you're not willing to do those sort of extras and put in the time and the hours, then you may be setting yourself up for a two, right? And for sitting for that AP exam and not really having much to show for it at the end of the day. If you just totally melt under taking situations, there's always a handful of students that don't do that. I hope still you'll reconsider, because I think you can practice enough and kind of talk yourself into some level of confidence on this test. But really, it's a personal decision, and perhaps for your college plans, or for your own abilities to sit for a 3-hour exam and just have confidence to kick it out of the park. Um, you may not like it may not be a good choice for your student to take the AP exam. Um, just remember that last bullet point as well. If you're just saying, "Oh, I don't have $100 in my pocket right now," um, if there's true financial need or something like that, talk to us, because we don't want the registration cost to be the deciding factor for you to skip an AP exam. So, uh, if you have specific questions, every year I have just kind of quick conferences with students, and they're trying to figure out, well, should I really, and what about this, and am I an exception? So if you still have questions, just totally legit, may not have covered everything here. Feel free to set up a meeting with me, or a phone call, or an email, or something like that, and I'll be happy to help you focus, consider different factors and focus in towards yes, or focus in towards no. It's probably not a good fit. But thanks a lot for watching through this whole thing. And I look forward to working with you throughout the year in English language and composition. See ya.